Right now in our class, we have done a lot of work with classes in TMC, and now we're going to transition from using classes that were kind of defined by TMC, like create the team class or the lyric art class or whatever that might be with these specifications. We're going to transition away from that into doing a more open-ended thing within Java Draw. We're going to try and apply some of those same ideas, but in a more creative kind of open-ended way where you can kind of create really whatever you want. Again, we're going to create games, animations, designs, whatever your mind can come up with. We'll create in Java Draw. One thing we have to do though is like kind of figure out, okay, what do I want what kind of class am I going to make, and what kind of characteristics is this class going to have? And that's really the purpose of this video, is to think through, okay, what kind of things do I want to make, and then how can I make it? How can I design a class to have that, to have those characteristics or do what I want? And the main things that I'm going to think about here are like a class has data. I think of them as having data and actions. So they store different variables. These are like our variables that they store. I feel like my thing is messed up here. And these are methods that a class might have. Okay, so for example, in mine, I'm going to make a game, just kind of beginning of a game where I'm going to have a spaceship that's going to go back and forth. It's probably going to drop some bombs down on the ground. And maybe eventually, if I make this game further, I don't know if I'll do this all within videos, but I might want to have something like, it's like a Space Invader game where we have a little tank down here, and it's going to be able to like kind of shoot up at the spaceship. And then maybe there's, I don't know, there could be like targets down here that might need to get exploded. The bombs are going to hit the target and destroy them. If all the buildings get destroyed, then the game is over. Like, I don't know if I'm going to go through and code every single part of that within these videos, but that's kind of like, I'm going to show you maybe the starting off point for, okay, how could I make a spaceship to begin with that's going to do this? Like, how could I get started with this? And so what I want to think about here is like, okay, what kind of data do I need to store about this spaceship? I need to store, like, definitely need to store its kind of shape. Like, is it made out of like ovals, and it needs to have some sort of like design to it. Let's see, what else could it have? It needs to probably have like a speed, because if it's going to be moving back and forth, you need to know like, well, how fast is it moving? Is that going to change over time? Is the speed always going to be the same? Is it going to maybe change as the game goes on or something? We could also do another thing, like what other kind of like property would I need to have for my spaceship? And it might just say like health. Like, these are all pieces of data that I might need to have. I feel like either my handwriting is getting worse or this mouse pad is not working as good as it normally is. Anyways, we should have like health, speed, and then like the shape, the actual design of the robot, of the spaceship. And then as far as actions, okay, what type of thing should every spaceship be able to do? We should be able to kind of move. Like, that's probably the most basic one that we need to be able to move. No matter how many spaceships I make, they should all be able to move kind of back and forth, and maybe they should like bounce too. And then finally, inside of here, like, I might need to be able to like drop bombs, because that's kind of what I envisioned in mine. In yours, you might do something totally different, but here's what I would do in mine. All right, so this is my task list that I'm going to come up with. This is what I need to do, and this is kind of what I'm going to ask that you do. Create a spaceship class that has health, has speed, has a shape, can move, and can drop bombs. So I'm going to say right now, if you feel like you can just create that on your own, go ahead and create that class. There's probably going to be a few things that we need to kind of be able to mess around with, but the goal is that we would define the spaceship class, and then we could create spaceship objects in the main code. So let's see, if you can code that, go for it. And otherwise, I'm going to go through a little more detail about how that might happen.